Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where I'm going to be stepping in as your expert guide and really your peer supporter. Today, we're navigating a genuinely powerful framework for holistic wellness. Think about it. We spend a massive chunk of our lives at work, but the way modern work is designed, well, it often leaves us feeling completely empty. So today we are exploring the map of meaning. It's this rigorously researched spiritual technology that basically helps individuals and entire organizations take charge of the actual factors that make work and honestly life itself genuinely meaningful.
I want you to really ask yourself right now, do you ever feel totally fragmented, just running on empty, or maybe purely task-oriented in your day-to-day grind? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. This is the lived experience of modern burnout. We're in this relentless corporate world where the focus is constantly on productivity and efficiency. And because of that, it is incredibly easy to just lose our humanity. We get so hyper-focused on ticking off boxes that we completely forget why we're even doing the work in the first place. And that leads straight to a profound sense of isolation and sheer exhaustion. To understand why this happens, we really have to contrast two completely different ways of working. On one side, we've got the purely task-oriented approach. This is when you're 100% focused on doing without any being. It's incredibly draining, it totally isolates you from your peers, and honestly, it's a fast track straight to burnout. But then, on the other side, we have deeper purpose. This is all about holistic integration. It's healing, it's sustainable, and it's deeply grounded in shared human meaning. When we finally make that shift from just being task-oriented to actually finding deeper purpose, we're not just working better, we're actually engaging in a vital form of recovery and self-preservation. So here is our voyage for today. First, we'll look at the modern crisis of meaning. Second, we'll unpack the compass and its core dimensions. Third, we'll cover healing and holistic wellness. And finally, we'll wrap up with the practitioner journey. Okay, moving right into section 1, the modern crisis of meaning. We really have to acknowledge this epidemic of meaninglessness that so many advocates, leaders, and everyday employees are facing right now. Losing meaning isn't just a minor inconvenience, right? It literally destroys dignity. It fuels cynicism, and it completely destabilizes our workplaces. Public sector specialist Carrie McGovern frames this so perfectly. The map is an indispensable tool to keep us whole. It will save us from burnout, it will save us from cynicism. It's totally non-judgmental. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is those 3 words, keep us whole. The map isn't just some shiny new management tool. It is a tool for survival. When we disconnect from meaning, we fragment. This framework actually gives us a concrete way to maintain our wholeness in environments that are constantly trying to pull us apart. So what exactly is it? Well, the map of meaning is a rigorously researched framework that essentially acts as a GPS of the inner world. It gives us a structured language to finally talk about what academics sometimes call the black box of human meaning. And I really want to emphasize here, this isn't just some fleeting trendy theory. It was developed by Marjolein Lips-Wiersma based on over 17 years of peer-reviewed research. She took the incredibly complex, profound aspects of our lives and distilled them into a reliable, accessible compass that you can use for personal reflection and even organizational design. Which brings us to section 2, the compass. Let's look at the core dimensions. I want you all to put on your practitioner hats for a second as we get into the actual mechanics of this framework. I'm going to walk you through how this inner GPS actually functions. The map is built on 4 pathways. Think of these as the primary ways us human beings actively find meaning. First up is integrity with self. This is all about being true to who you are and fostering your own personal growth. Second is unity with others, which is focusing on shared values, feeling that sense of belonging, and working together. Third, we have service to others, that deep drive to make a positive difference for humanity or the planet. And the 4th pathway is expressing full potential, which is centered on active creation, achievement, and actually having an influence in the world. To have a truly meaningful life, we need to be engaging with all 4 of these pathways. But here is where it gets super fascinating. These pathways, they don't just exist in a vacuum. They exist within 2 fundamental balances. So the crucial point is that meaning is almost always lost when these fundamental tensions stay unbalanced for too long. Tension number 1 is self versus others. That's balancing our own individual needs right up against the needs of our community. Tension number 2 is being versus doing. Finding that sweet spot between reflection and stillness and action and creation. Think about it.
If you're all doing and zero being, you're going to burn out, period. If you're all self and no others, you completely lose connection. It's a balancing act.
Furthermore, the map takes all of this and places it within an overarching context: inspiration versus reality. Inspiration is our hope, our ideals, our highest visions for what our work could be. Reality is, well, our actual self, our very real imperfections, and the unavoidable constraints of our current circumstances. The map beautifully grounds us by placing our search for meaning smack dab in the middle of these two. It totally avoids toxic positivity because it acknowledges that reality can be really harsh sometimes, but at the same time, it wards off despair by keeping us anchored to our inspiration.
Let's move to Section 3, Healing and Holistic Wellness.
We've looked at the theory, now let's ground this in real-world application, specifically through the lens of lived experience, mental health, and leadership. A recent course participant shared this incredibly powerful realization. They said, "I'd become overly task-oriented, serving the organization and others, but had lost all unity with coworkers. Seeing it this way allows me to ground myself and take back personal control." This is just such a perfect example. It illustrates how recognizing a massive imbalance, like being stuck in doing and service while totally neglecting unity and being, can spark some profound personal healing. Once you finally have a language to articulate exactly what is missing, you can actually take real steps toward recovery.
Now, from a leadership perspective, this framework is an absolute game changer. Because the dimensions on the map are universal human needs, it creates this completely neutral, non-judgmental space for teams to communicate. For example, instead of having a toxic gripe session where everyone just complains about feeling undervalued, a leader can bring out the map during a team meeting. Suddenly, you can identify a lack of expressing full potential, or maybe unity with others, and you can do it without pointing fingers or assigning blame. It gives us a shared vocabulary to navigate really complex organizational challenges and turns what could be a nasty conflict into constructive, positive action.
And this brilliantly illustrates the leadership impact in action. A nonprofit CEO in Tasmania shared this: "Your guidance using the map of meaning helped us develop a strong commitment to working together. It allowed us to explore our differences and develop respect for each other." That is exactly how the map fosters sustainable, long-term team growth. It builds deep psychological safety simply because every single person's need for meaning is validated and structured right there visually on the map.
All right, wrapping up with Section 4, the practitioner journey. So you might be wondering, how do you actually learn to guide others through this? Let's talk about how you can build the confidence to use this map across all sorts of diverse, complex settings. Becoming an expert guide actually follows a very concrete pathway. Step 1 is discover your meaning, which is basically taking short courses to explore your own personal meaning first. You know the saying, you gotta put your own oxygen mask on before assisting others. Step 2 is practitioner fundamentals, which is a 2-hour introductory session. And then finally, step 3 is the certification pathway. This is an intense, 5-month guided process for full-on professional development. The rigor of this certification pathway is really something to note. It requires a solid 18-week time commitment. We're talking live group Zoom meetings, small group sessions, actual practice time, and preparing a whole portfolio for a final certification interview. The people who work with the MOP are incredibly professional, highly qualified, and deeply thoughtful. And this robust structure ensures that practitioners are truly equipped to handle the heavy, profound conversations that inevitably come up when people start unpacking their search for meaning. Let's move to and see how this builds into something much, much larger than any one individual. When you train in this framework, you aren't just learning a cool new tool, you are joining a global community, a community dedicated entirely to improving lives and workplaces. You get to connect with coaches, HR professionals, and change makers all across the globe who are all using this exact same spiritual technology to help sustain our humanity in the modern world of work. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought to ponder today. How will you use this compass to sustain your own humanity and help heal your community in the modern world of work? Whether you just use it to check your own internal balance, or you decide to take the leap and become a certified practitioner guiding whole organizations, the map of meaning is yours to navigate. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today.